obviously, since Dame was drafted, we handed him the ball day one. He was our franchise point guard. Now he's our franchise player. And we hope that this contract leads him to finish his career as a Portland Trailblazer. So we'll open it up to questions.
Damian, I know that's obviously something that you obviously wanted to get done in a hurry, obviously the first day. Can you just talk about why that was and just, I guess, your long-term commitment to the team?
I mean, obviously, this being the place that I started, the team that drafted me, and just so much has been invested with our team and with Coach Stotts, with Neil. I think we've built something special. It's been built genuine, and the environment that we've created is something that I've been a part of, and it's something that I want to continue to be a part of. And having my family in Portland, everything is set up. I've kind of gotten comfortable, and it feels like things are the way that it needs to be, that it should be, and everybody around me is happy with that. So aside from the personal stuff, even my career, I feel like it's only right that, this is where I continue to, to play.
Maybe you get a lot of credit for establishing a culture. What does that mean to you, and what goes into establishing a culture?
It means a lot because, a lot of times when you're not in L.A., maybe New York, Brooklyn, not New York, Brooklyn, Miami, any one of those California teams, it's hard to make your team or your organization attractive to the best players. So, like they always say, if the harder working player or the harder working team is going to be, have a chance when the more talented team doesn't work hard. And I think it's that type of situation, with the type of environment that we've created. We do stuff the right way. We show up on time. We stay together. And I think that's what our strength is. That's why we're able to have the kind of success that we've been able to have. So it just makes it mean that much more to me because I know that, our best chance lies in that. And for me is to keep having that, to, have our team continue to trust that and do things that way. You just keep the standard. You hold people accountable. And I know that a lot of guys are going to look to how I react to stuff. When Coach Stotts calls me out or when things aren't going the way we want it to go as a team, when the team is playing well and I'm not playing well, stuff like that. I think you're able to kind of control those situations. You're able to control the environment just by not putting yourself first. And when you see something needs to be said, say it. Stuff like that, it means a lot to me because I understand the type of chance it gives our team.
I know it's been really recent, but where do you kind of see you guys right now in the landscape of the West?
I mean, I think you look around at what's happened for other teams, the Clippers, the Lakers, Brooklyn, and it jumps off the page, but I think we got better as well. We had a great team the past few years, but I think now we got a different team, and sometimes change is good. Obviously, y'all know if it was up to me, the team would stay the same forever, and we would just have the same players for the rest of my career. But the way I look at it is sometimes change is good, and getting Hassan Whiteside, a rim protector, probably the best shot blocker in the league, a lob threat. Kent Bazemore, been on good teams, had a rough start to his career, a 3-and-D guy, bringing Rodney back. I think we've done good things for ourselves, and we got better, just like a lot of other teams did, and we in position to improve on what we did this past season.
You guys are going to have a lot of new faces. How will you kind of approach that? Will you just let things happen organically, or in years past you brought people to San Diego?
I think a few years ago when we was doing like San Diego and all that stuff, all of us were much younger. I think I was 20, maybe 25, 24 and 25 the first two times we did it. And I felt like it was just needed because of, how young we were and kind of inexperienced in the roles that we were stepping into. But now everybody that's coming in is closer to 28, 29 and have been on successful teams. They know who they are as players. So now I think it's more of a thing of just letting it happen organically. We come to Portland early like we always do, get some workouts in, play pickup, hang out, get to know each other. And I think it just happens organically, and my responsibility is just to let them know how we do things, not by just walking up like, all right, don't do this, don't do that. You know, it's more of a thing where everybody comes in, we work out. If I see something, I'm gonna be like, we usually do X, Y, and Z. This is what we should be doing right here. This is what we should be doing, and just kind of let them know. And you know, myself and CJ being the people that's going, you know, not be afraid to hold them to that standard. And, you know, once they see that from day one, I think everybody will respect it and we'll be able to move on like we always do.
Dave, kind of following up on the last 2 minutes, how important has recruiting become to this era's players?
I mean, it's become huge because it's sometimes the coaches and the front offices, they don't have as much, I guess, power as the players. You know, the players are so friendly now. I think in the past it was like, you know, Jordan probably didn't go out searching and trying to get guys to come join him. You know, it was like they was competing against each other. Now is, well, they got 3 stars on their team, so I know this guy and that guy. I'm going to try to get them to come to my team. So I think you see it a lot more now, where it's just players recruiting players is more powerful than a pitch meeting with the team. You know, that's just what it is now. So I mean, it's a huge part of the game now.
Dame, you mentioned Whiteside earlier, and he's had some. Nobody questions his talent on the floor, obviously, but he's had some problems off the floor with management and coaching staff and everything. Do you see that as a challenge to the culture or your leadership or anything like that? How are you looking toward that? What have you thought about now about that situation?
I mean, I think anytime you do something outside of what you typically do is going to be a challenge. And, you know, I've played with Robin Lopez and Nurk and J.J. Hickson and guys like that who just kind of more on the laid back side. They just kind of come in and, you know, not going to say a whole lot, just do what they need to do. And Hassan is outspoken. And, you know, people have said things like that about him, that he's giving them a hard time and things like that. But I think once you come to an environment where it's just not like that, you know, where you looking around and you like, well, nobody else is causing problems. Everybody else is showing up on time. Everybody else is working hard. I think it makes it more uncomfortable to be the one guy doing it. You know, so I think just like people have said those things, he'll come to this situation and that could change. You know, maybe he comes here and, you know, he realizes that it's just a better situation for him, you know, and he may behave different or, you know, whatever the case might be. But I just don't see it. I don't see it being an issue because I've known him for a while. We've been around each other. And I've already had the conversation with him that when you're mad, when the game is not going your way, if somebody do something, if coach say something to you, whatever he say, me and you going to have to be able to communicate. We have to be able to talk. And he said, okay. So, you know, we pretty much had that conversation already.
Coach, what are some things you value about the game?
You know, probably I've been in the league a long time, and it's a players' league, and the best organizations are a reflection of the best player. And throughout my time in the league and even before that, you know, if you're fortunate enough to have a great leader as your best player, it just makes everything that much better for the coaches, the players, the franchise, the city, whatever. And so Dame has embodied that. He's gone through a growth from his first 3 years where he was a veteran with a veteran team. He kind of picked his spots. He took over the leadership mantle 4 years ago. But to me, you know, his basketball talents on the court speak for themselves. But it's all the things that he was talking about, you've asked about his leadership, that makes it easier for everybody, not only me, but for the other coaches, the other players, the consistency, you know, having him talk to players about the expectations of what we do. Our culture is driven by a lot of people, but Dame is. It wouldn't mean anything if Dame wasn't a big part of it. And so, like I said, a guy who is an All-NBA player and does the things that he does on the court, you can't win without that. But to have sustained success, to have the culture that we've developed, you don't have it without his ability to lead by example, to lead with his voice, Rodney mentioned about his charisma. It's not flashy charisma, but it's a respected charisma that kind of has a life of its own, and you feel it, and you know it when you see it.
Dave, I know you talked about legacy last week. Now that you're signed the deal and you're going to stay even longer, how important is it to you to potentially have your jersey retired before?
I mean, that's important. I said, years ago that I wanted to be the best Trailblazer ever. And, I mean, if you look back at just the history of things that I've said, you'll see that I don't just say stuff just to say it. I say what I mean, and I stick by it. I stay by it. And obviously, if I want to be the best Trailblazer ever, that means that I would want to see my jersey retired. So going forward, I just got to continue to do what I've always done. Just keep getting better in the summer. Go hide out, come back and improve player, and just keep making sure that my team is winning. Doing the things I got to do to help the team. And as long as I do that, I don't see why that won't happen.
Neil, I think maybe you addressed this already, but I imagine this is probably not a difficult decision for you or the franchise to load Damian up this way.
Like that, load him up. Load him up. Okay, load him up. Load him up. Yeah, I said to Dame before, his great-grandchildren thank him. No, this is a no-brainer. Again, we're very lucky to have Jody. She saw the success we had. She knows it would not have taken place without Dame. I think he's a very unique person beyond being a player that, I've said this before, even when we did CJ. I never lost a moment's sleep, ever. The numbers we're talking about now across the league are astronomical, and you see guys that sign them, and I don't know that ownership and front office and the business division and the coaches, sleep well at night with some of those contracts. But, we never lost a minute of sleep. And, the one thing I said to Jody was, one thing about Dame, he will not change. There's two things what happen when people get paid. They relax and feel like it's justified, and then they kind of go on a vacation because they feel like they did all the work to get that contract. And then there's people that spend the rest of their lives trying to live up to that contract. And I think any of us in this room that know Damian, this is just going to fuel him even further because he is one of the best players in this league. We're treating him as like he's one of the best players in this league, and we know that he takes that responsibility. I think part of this contract isn't just about basketball. As Terry said, we wouldn't have the culture we have without him. We wouldn't have our status, among the upper echelon in the Western Conference without him. And a lot of those things are things that people don't see and they don't show up in a box score, but they're things that we see every day that would be a huge void if he wasn't with us. And when I look around at some of the other people around the league, it's irreplaceable for us to have Damian. So for all those reasons, I mean, this was an absolute no-brainer. And like I said, as long as we don't have another 7.1 earthquake, I will sleep really well tonight, knowing that we absolutely did the right thing. And again, are thankful that, Jody recognized that, during her brief tenure and wanted us to get this done as quickly and as expeditiously as possible.
Did you have a reaction last night when you learned that Kawhi was going? Kawhi and PG were going?
Yeah, I was arguing with my brother. We was arguing about something completely different, and then my boy Drake was like, PG to the Clippers with Kawhi, and I was like, you lying. And he was like, nah, he going to the Clippers. And I left the conversation, and I went over there, and I saw that it was real, and I was just like, wow. Like, I texted Mo right after that, like, man, y'all gonna be nice. they gonna have a great defensive lineup, and be able to score the ball. So that was crazy.
Is that motivating?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's motivating. I just when I see stuff like that, I automatically feel challenged. Like I feel challenged, and it's gonna be a topic. It's gonna be a big discussion because 2 star players going to join up in a market like that. And I just take the challenge. Like, it's almost exciting to where it's like another team is expected to pass you by. So it gives you something to look forward to, something to be excited about. It's a new challenge. So I'm just excited about it. It's perfectly fine.
I think one of the things to follow up, Casey, is that in this era where consistently market is more valuable than team in all these decisions, whether it's free agents or whether it's players forcing their way into a trade, market has won. Almost exclusively, market has won over team. And I think one of the things why we're so blessed to have Damian is that all of his decisions, extending his rookie scale, doing his extension now 2 years early, is because he has chosen team and organization and city and the Portland Trailblazers. And I think that's what makes this signing so exciting, is that he has made a choice to accept the team and everything that comes with that, and everything that he has built over the last 7 years with everyone else, and he's prioritized that.
Why is that, Damian?
Did I prioritize this?
Yeah, other star players are looking to hook up with other people. You've always said, I want to be here.
I mean, that's just what it is. Like, I appreciate like our fans, the way they feel about our team, the way they support our team. I appreciate the type of environment that I'm in. I would hate to be somebody that is in this type of situation and I start looking for other places like, all right, I want to join, this guy or that guy and go play in this market, just based off of the pressure of people saying, well, you don't have a ring and you don't have, stuff like that. And then I go somewhere and I end up in a bad situation and it's not working out. And then I get traded somewhere. Like, if it don't work out when you make these kind of decisions, you could start bouncing around, and then, you kind of let something go that was special because you just got bored with it and wanted to, be a part of what everybody else is doing. And, I've said also in the past that, like, I want to do it here. I haven't won a championship since '77, the one and only. And it would just feel so much better to know that I just kept it solid and I did the work. We've been through sweeps and had all this stuff. Obviously, we got swept again this year, but it was in the Western Conference Finals, so it was a step further. We made it a step further and a step closer to what the ultimate goal is. And in the end, I know that if it gets done, it'll feel much better to know that I did it, in a solid way. I didn't have to go and play with the best players just to get it done. So for me, this is the way I want to do it, and I know that if it don't happen, I can live with it because I know the route that I chose. I accepted it a long time ago.